Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I got world title challenger Hughie Fury. Hughie,
how you doing, pal?
You right?
Yeah, we're all good.
I said there to your father as well. You've travelled a lot. You went to Bulgaria. You fought in London. You fought in Monte Carlo, all over the world. It must be nice when you're fighting at home.
Listen, it's lovely to be back home in my own crowd, and like you say, we don't have to travel far, that's for sure. So it's nice just to put a show on and in front of my own fans.
I was just talking off camera there about your condition. I said to myself that I've been to many of your fights. It's probably the best I've seen you look. What have you done different?
Like I say, yeah, just in time as well. Like I say, I'm getting older, I'm becoming more mature. Like I say, this is probably the heaviest I've weighed in for a while, and yeah, it's just natural, just the progress of training and stuff, and I'm feeling fit, feeling good, I'm ready to go.
Your resume of fighters that you fought, Povetkins, the Pulevs, the Parkers, fought for world title obviously. You're still very, very young. You've obviously learned a lot, but what would you say were the key things that you've learned from those defeats that you can take forward?
Like I say, the key things I've learned is what you're going to see on Saturday night. Is like you say, we've been putting all these things. I've been fighting all these major fights with one hand, basically, and people's going to see a big difference and a shock.
Was it necessary for you to change your training and change the way you fight?
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, yeah, it was frustrating for myself going into these big fights and not be able to let them right hands off and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been frustrating times for us, but we've proceeded through, and it's got me to where I am today.
Obviously 2020 has just started. We're in the first quarter, first fight, March. Ideally, what's your plans for the year? What do you want to do, and where do you want to end up at the end of the year?
Like I say, I'm never afraid to fight anyone, so hopefully we're getting some good fights this year and get back into that mandatory position.
The heavyweight division is booming right now.
100%.
We've just got Dylan White, Povetkin announced, Joshua Pulev, Chisora Usyk won't be far off from being announced. Your cousin, obviously Tyson, went and did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, listen, like I say, you've got to give fair credit to him. He put on a hell of a performance, and he's put it down, hasn't he? He's put it down as one of the greats.
Obviously, you know him very well. Everyone has known Tyson for that, to be that kind of fighter that sits on the back foot, feints a lot, jabs a lot, makes you miss. Did you know he had that style in him?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said to you, we knew he was going to come forward, and he basically done exactly what he said. When he was on the weighing scales and he weighed heavy, so obviously with that weight he wasn't going to box around the ring, was he? So he didn't
obviously when you both were at Wilder's fight, when he jumped into the ring and they had that confrontation, he told him there and then what I was going to do to you many years ago, and he did it.
Exactly. One thing Tyson is, he does what he says, and fair play to him, he did it.
Hughie, you've taken defeats yourself, and you've always been kind of man enough to accept those defeats. What did you make of Deontay's?
Like I say, it's a crock of shit, pardon my language, but at the end of the day, people who to make excuses, he says he's a fighting man, and like I say, if he thinks he was an excuse, he's got the rematch, so just take it, be silent, let your fist do the talking. He's brought up the excuse. After the fight he said it was problems with issues in the background, and then a few days later come out with his suit, so to be honest with you, I don't really, it's just an excuse. He's just making anything to get in the public's eyes, but to be honest with you, he can't believe he got beat up in that fashion, and everything's coming up with all these excuses, but that's it. The same thing will happen again probably sooner.
Do you think he should take the rematch straight away? We obviously saw Joshua win.
I think whatever he's going to do, the same outcome is going to come. So I reckon he's definitely going to use his contract. It'd be stupid really not to. So because obviously it's a big payday for him.
Obviously Dylan White, Povetkin's announced. He obviously fought Povetkin. Dylan obviously had a kind of tough year last year. It's a great matchup. What are your thoughts on?
Like you say, Povetkin was very dangerous early on, but it'll be a very good fight. Like I say, I fancy Dylan more in the later rounds. But it'll be exciting at last.
Joshua, obviously against his mandatory. Obviously everyone wants to see Joshua in there with Tyson now for the undisputed, but obviously when you're a world champion, mandatories come upon you, and he has to fight Kubrat Pulev, somebody you went and fought in his backyard in Bulgaria. Tricky player?
Like you say, he's very good. You can't take nothing away from Pulev. Obviously I suffered with a big cut going into that fight, but it was one of them. But like you say, it'll be an interesting fight, that will be.
To finally finish off with you, what can we expect tomorrow night, Hughie?
Exciting fireworks.
Hughie, rest, recover, and we'll surely hopefully catch up with you post-fight tomorrow.
100%.
Hughie Fury for IFL TV, thank you very much.